I am confused by your statement that you rely heavily on touring plans for your crowd levels plannings, but your crowd level predictions do not agree with their predictions. For example, touringplans.com still lists October as a relatively low crowd month. In your crowd calendar, which in trying to obtain reservations, etc., I have found to be much more likely and reliable, thank you very much, lists October as extremely busy. I canceled our October trip, October 7th through 14th, in fact, because your red day predictions are more in line with what I suspect to be true. Accordingly, I no longer trust touringplan.com for crowd predictions. And this mistrust is bleeding into every other areas, even though the unofficial guide has been my go-to planner for more than 10 years. Can you explain the differences and why Touring Plans, Undercover Tourists, etc. is still holding on to the very traditional crowd calendars of 5 to 10 years ago? Thanks, Kim. Well, Kim, first let me say thank you for the kind words about our crowd calendars. That's one of the things we try very hard to be accurate on. Why Touring Plans says what they say, why Undercover Tourist says what they say, I have no idea. I don't work with them on their crowd calendars. I don't talk to them about their predictions. Now, I have had in the past, I've worked with both Touring Plans and Undercover Tourist. I've talked to them. I know them. I have no animosity towards either one of them. I like both of them a whole lot. I've interviewed Lynn Testa of Touring Plans for the magazine. Talked to him several times. Mommy Frog. I used to write for her, actually. I wrote several articles for Undercover Tourists years and years ago. But I have no idea why they predict things the way they do. I know Touring Plans, and this is something Lynn and I talked about in the interview. He has a full algorithm, hundreds of data points that he uses for his crowd predictions. But me, I go by experience. I go by what I see, what I hear. Now, one thing I will say is I make up my crowd predictions in April. So April of 2018, I will be making my crowd predictions for 2019. And I don't change them. I don't go, Touring Plans sent me a notice a couple of weeks ago that some of the dates for some of the crowd predictions for our dates had changed, and they had gone up, by the way. Some of the dates for our upcoming trip here the crowd predictions had changed. They changed theirs regularly. A lot of people that make crowd predictions change theirs. I try to make my predictions and stick with them, because what good does it do you to plan a trip and then when 2 weeks before you go, you get a notice the crowds have doubled. Now, are we always right? No. I can tell you that mine aren't always 100% accurate. I will say that mine are more accurate than your local weatherman. That doesn't say much, does it? But accuracy, we try to be as accurate as we can. We listen every day for what actually is happening. Now, as to me using Touring Plans for planning, I don't use them for my crowd predictions. I use them for my personal, when I'm planning a trip. I will use Touring Plans to help me kind of predict pick which park I'm going to be in. I use a lot of their tools, their room selector tool, not always, but I've used it. I like their ADR tool. When you can't get an ADR, I like that tool. I've even used their plan maker tool. I use their Lines app when I'm in the park to check lines. I find it to be more accurate than Disney's lines on the My Disney Experience app. The bottom line is, I can't tell you why Touring Plans and Undercover Tourists have the predictions they have. That's what they believe. What I believe, I put out there, and we'll just have to see who's right. It's just one of those. It's a prediction, and things change. The Disney crowd patterns are changing, and it's kind of hard to get out of those old habits. I've even had to change some of my old habits. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to dadsguidetowwdw.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.